heaven and hell. The speech of angels with man. 1. 246. Angels who talk with man do not talk in their own language, but in the man's own language and also in other languages with which he is well acquainted, but not in languages unknown to him. This is so because when angels speak with a man they turn themselves to him and conjoin themselves with him, and this conjunction of angel with man causes both to be in like thought. And as man's thought clings to his memory, and this is the source of his speech, each of them has the same language. Moreover, when an angel or a spirit comes to a man, and by turning to him is conjoined to him, he so enters into the entire memory of the man that he hardly knows otherwise than that he is aware, from himself, of whatever the man knows, including his languages. 2. I have talked with angels about this, and have said that they probably supposed that they were addressing me in my mother tongue, because it is so perceived, when yet it was not they who spoke but I, and that this may be confirmed from the fact that angels cannot utter a single word of human language. Furthermore, human language is natural and they are spiritual, and spiritual beings cannot utter anything in the natural way. To this they replied that they are aware that their conjunction with the man with whom they are speaking is with his spiritual thought. But because his spiritual thought flows into his natural thought, and his natural thought clings to his memory, the language of the man and all his knowledge appear to them to be their own, and that this is so for this reason, that because it is the Lord's pleasure that there should be such a conjunction and, as it were, implantation of heaven with man, yet the state of man at this day is so different that this conjunction is no longer with angels, but with spirits who are not in heaven. 3. When I talked about this with spirits also they were unwilling to believe that it is the man who speaks, insisting that they spoke in man. Also that man's knowledge is their knowledge and not the man's knowledge, consequently that everything that man knows is from them. I tried to convince them by many proofs that this is not true, but in vain. Torment by spirits and torment by angels will be told in pages following when the world of spirits is to be considered. 247. There is another reason why angels and spirits conjoin themselves so closely with man as not to know but that what is man's is their own, namely, that there is such conjunction between the spiritual world and the natural world in man that the two are as if one. But inasmuch as man has separated himself from heaven, the Lord has provided that there should be angels and spirits with each individual, and that man should be ruled by the Lord through them. This is the reason for such close conjunction. It would have been otherwise if man had not separated himself, for in that case he could have been ruled by the Lord through the general influx from heaven, without spirits and angels being adjoined to him. But this subject will be specially considered in what follows, in connection with the conjunction of heaven with man. 248. The speech of an angel or spirit with man is heard by him as audibly as the speech of man with man, yet by himself only, and not by others who are standing near. The reason is that the speech of an angel or spirit flows first into a man's thought, and by an inner way into his organ of hearing, and so sets it in motion from within, while the speech of man with man flows first into the air and by an outward way into his organ of hearing, and sets it in motion from without. Evidently, then, The speech of an angel or spirit with man is heard within him, and as it equally sets the organs of hearing in motion, it is equally audible. That the speech of an angel or a spirit flows down from within even into the ear has been made clear to me by the fact that it flows also into the tongue, causing a slight vibration, but not with any such motion as when the speech tone is articulated into words by the man himself by means of the tongue. 249. It is rarely granted at the present day, however, to talk with spirits, because it is dangerous. Number sign for then the spirits know, what otherwise they do not know, that they are with man, and evil spirits are such that they hold man in deadly hatred, and desire nothing more than to destroy him both soul and body, which indeed happens with those who have so indulged themselves in fantasies as to have separated from themselves the enjoyments proper to the natural man. Some also who lead a solitary life sometimes hear spirits talking with them, and without danger, but that the spirits with them may not know that they are with man, they are at intervals removed by the Lord, for most spirits are not aware that any other world than that in which they live is possible, and therefore are unaware that there are men anywhere else. This is why man on his part is not permitted to speak with them, for if he did they would know. Those who meditate much on religious subjects, and are so intent upon them as to see them as it were inwardly within themselves, begin also to hear spirits speaking with them, for religious subjects, whatever they are, when man dwells upon them by himself and does not modify them with various things that are of use in the world, penetrate to the interiors and dwell there, and occupy the whole spirit of the man, and even enter into the spiritual world and act upon the spirits there. Such persons are visionaries and enthusiasts, and whatever spirit they hear they believe to be the Holy Spirit, when, in fact, such spirits are enthusiastic spirits. Such spirits see falsities as truths, and so, seeing them, they not only persuade themselves but also those with whom they inflow to believe them. Such spirits, however, have been gradually removed, because they began to lure others into evil and to gain control over them. Enthusiastic spirits are distinguished from other spirits by their believing themselves to be the Holy Spirit, and believing what they say to be divine. As man honors such spirits with divine worship, they do not try to harm him. I have sometimes talked with them, and the wicked things they infused into their worshippers were then disclosed. They dwell together towards the left, in a desert place. Man is able to talk with spirits and angels, and the ancient people frequently talked with them. In some earth angels and spirits appear in human form and talk with the inhabitants. But on this earth at this day it is dangerous to talk with spirits, unless man is its true faith, and is led by the Lord. 250. However, to speak with the angels of heaven is granted only to those who are in truth from good, especially to those who are in the acknowledgement of the Lord and of the divine in his human, because this is the truth in which the heavens are. For, as it has been shown above, the lute is the God of heaven, the divine of the Lord makes heaven. The divine of the Lord in heaven is love to him and charity towards the neighbor from him. The entire heaven as a whole resembles one man, also any one society of heaven, and each angel is in a complete human form, and this from the Lord's divine human. all of which makes evident that only those whose interiors have been opened by divine truths, even to the Lord, are able to speak with angels of heaven, since it is into these truths with man that the Lord inflows, and when the Lord inflows heaven to so also. Divine truths open the interiors of man because man has been so created as to be in respect of his internal man an image of heaven, and in respect of his external an image of the world, and the internal man is opened only by means of divine truth, going forth from the Lord, because that is the light and the life of heaven. Next, I will post the speech of angels with man too. Thank you.